What's up guys, welcome back to Laguna Seca. We're here with Lightspeed Track Events, driving my friend Alex's 2021 Mazda ND2 Miata. He's done quite a few mods to this to make it track capable. As always, the full list of mods will be in the video description, but we've got an OS Giken LSD, motor and transmission are totally stock, Bride Zeta 4 bucket seats, Titan 7 wheels, they're 17x9 with Kumho V730s all around. We've got some aero as well, including a 9 lives swan neck rear wing, a roll bar. For suspension, we have MCS one-ways Karcepts spec, so they're custom valved. Very excited to see how this MCS setup feels on track, as I've driven a ND2 Miata before with KWs. I think they were KW Club Sports, if I'm not mistaken. Quite a big fan of those, so these MCSs might be even better. We've got a Karcept front sway bar, rear diff mount, spherical bushings on the rear knuckles and the front lower control arm, so that should help with overall response. And for brakes, we've got a Stoptech STR42 big brake kit, Home Depot brake ducts, and a self-made oil cooler. So with that, let's see how this car performs at Laguna Seca, which is a track that is not very well suited for lower horsepower cars. so consistent. The tires, the brakes, nothing falls off. No overheating. The car is so light that you can just toss it into every corner way faster than you think it should be able to go. And it's so easy to control. I absolutely love this thing. I really do. I understand the hype now. This is how you build a Miata for the track, with just the right parts. One-way suspension, but with a very high quality damper and valved properly for the track. Stoptech brakes, aero, nothing crazy, cooling. That's really all you need. Stock engine, stock transmission. I do think the car tends to understeer just a little bit. I did feel that at turn 3 and turn 5. But it's pretty minor. Overall, it's still a very neutral car to drive at the limit, and it's so much fun. This is probably the best Miata I've ever driven on track. It's just so easy to control, so consistent. Lap after lap, I was just shaving time, not having to worry about the car wearing down. Meanwhile, my Integra Type S is having horrible fuel starvation issues. That's putting it into limp mode after about 10 minutes of hard driving. This Miata, no issues at all. We're below half a tank, no fuel starvation to worry about. This is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. Less than 200 horsepower. In fact, barely over 180 horsepower, but still so fun to drive, so fast in the corners, easy to keep up with much higher horsepower cars, purely because of the cornering speed. That's the Miata recipe, and I gotta say, it is very, very appealing. I'm kind of tempted to just build an ND2 now. I will say, compared to even a stock ND3, the steering isn't as good. That revised ND3 steering rack definitely has better load up and better on-center feel. It's definitely noticeable now that I've driven multiple examples of each. 1 minute 44.1 lap time. That was honestly a lot quicker than I thought I could go with just 15 minutes behind the wheel. So big shout out to Alex. Let me know what you think about the ND2. Do you think the mods he put on this one are the best way to spend your money on track prepping an ND2 Miata? Should I buy an ND2 Miata and build it as a track car and just focus on improving my driving skills in something that's much lower horsepower but much more consistent? More seat time is the key to becoming a faster driver. And with a car like this, I feel like I would tire out before the car does. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.